As people grow older and expectations rise, many find themselves choosing between two paths, living for themselves or living for others. Whether it's the peer pressure to fit into a group, your parents nudging you toward a specific career, or even something as small as choosing what to wear outside, these decisions add up over time. Often subconsciously, they shape the people we become. And while there isn't an inherently correct path to take, each choice carries its own weight. Ideally, we should want to live life with no regrets and act in a way we see as true to ourselves. But the problem is it isn't always convenient. There's the stress of time, uncertainty, and social pressures that we all have to deal with in our own way. And unfortunately, most people lean toward whatever's easier. Ideas wither away as soon as they form, and sometimes it's just easier to let them. When you have a 9-to-5, a fiance, and an otherwise happy life, it gets tempting to put off writing a song, or making a video, or finishing that screenplay you never fully fleshed out. You might as well enjoy the good moments as they come and be satisfied with what you have. And then there are the psychos who can't let their dreams go. Hi, that's me. For some people, there's a fire to create, to achieve whatever they want no matter the cost. Sometimes it's delusional, sometimes it's brave, but undoubtedly the fire to be who you are is inside everyone. Enter Tyler, the Creator. Professional rap weirdo, fashion icon, and bona fide face box muncher. This guy has done and achieved practically everything any creative could ever want to do. He's had his own comedy show, an annual festival he hosts in his hometown, multiple outstanding albums that you've definitely seen on your annoying coworker's Topster. He's almost like a cartoon caricature of someone who has lived for himself in every extreme possible. And as a creative, it's easy to get intimidated and think, damn, I am never going to get to that point, so maybe I should let these ideas disappear. All we see is his success, his attitude, the comment sections glazing him to no end. But what a lot of people don't realize is that that is only half the story. To get to where he is now, he's left behind dozens of opportunities, people, and even parts of himself. His latest album, Chromakopia, dives into a lot of these themes and has a lot of self-reflection on the choices Tyler has made over the years. Whereas most Tyler albums discuss general feelings and themes with characters that narrate and personalize them, Chromakopia doesn't have a character. Tyler is finally being honest with us about a lot of things he's only ever lightly tiptoed around in other albums. There's songs on here about disappointing your mother, songs about abortion, songs about not wanting to be tied down in relationships, but mainly it's about Tyler accepting the life decisions he's made while also acknowledging the sacrifices he's taken to live them out. For context, Tyler has always been a controversial figure in music. Now he's more or less a household name, with some people ranking his discography among the best of the best, but it wasn't always this way. He got his come up making shock art for the sake of offending people, and when it caught on, he just leaned into it more. Behind the guise of eating cockroaches and whiteface, Tyler was putting out real art with real messages he wanted to share, come what may. His excessive approach set him apart from mainstream rap. He was unhinged, unconventional, and above all, unapologetically himself. But that selfishness came at a cost. Tyler faced constant backlash from everyone, was banned from entire countries, and was frequently labeled as offensive and even bigoted. He was outcast from the very community he loved, but he never let that stop him. However, we do have to talk about Odd Future, the group that he came up with and forged his edgy identity around. Odd Future now is mostly just a clothing brand that used to be a creative collective, and that's mainly because Tyler abandoned it. At the height of Odd Future's fame, the group represented rebellion and chaos with artists that had incredible potential, but behind the scenes it wasn't always harmonious. As the group matured, their priorities shifted, and Tyler's decision to fully pursue his artistic vision led to the group's eventual downfall. Odd Future was more than a group. It was a symbol of creative rebellion, and Tyler's decision to move on wasn't just a career shift, it was a personal reckoning. He chose his own vision over the bonds that helped define him, a choice that mirrors the sacrifices explored on Chromakopia. We've always known Tyler to be somewhat selfish, from cheating on partners to freaks he let on. His past albums have always hinted at flaws, but in Chromakopia, we finally get to see the full scope of it. Here, Tyler doesn't just admit to his selfishness, he dissects it, exposing the motives and vulnerabilities behind his choices. In Hey Jane, he raps about a time where he got someone close to him pregnant, and the complex emotions that came with it. Any other artist would probably fill this song with lyrics that make them look good and morally upstanding, but Tyler does the exact opposite, and just plainly says how he feels. He worries about sacrificing his freedom, the creative ventures that have defined him, and the resentment he might ultimately feel towards the child's mother if he were to settle down into a traditional family role. Tyler captures that tension honestly, and stands by the choices he believes are right for him while also showing the fallout of these decisions. And there's moments like this all over the album. Darling I talks about his pattern of infidelity and fear of commitment. Tomorrow talks about refusing to give his mother a grandchild and the fear of missing out on having a normal life. And Take Your Mask Off is a powerful, self-critical moment where Tyler asks himself if everything he's done done up to this point has been worth it. Tyler's evolution on Chromakopia feels like a natural progression, but it also mirrors a moment we've seen recently in hip-hop, with Kendrick Lamar's 2022 album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Both albums are brutally honest reflections of their creators' flaws, choices, and the consequences of living authentically. For years, Kendrick was seen as a savior of hip-hop, a cultural zeitgeist who always seemed to rise to the occasion. But when people needed him most, during a period of intense political and social conflict, Kendrick vanished. When he returned, it wasn't with triumphant anthems or grand solutions. It was with Mr. Morale, an album that said firmly, "I choose me." Tracks like Savior stripped away the illusion of Kendrick as a cultural hero, with lyrics that directly rejected the pedestal fans had placed on him for years. He didn't want to be the guy who solved everyone's problems. He wanted to live a life of peace, free from the expectations that came from his fame. Tyler's Chromakopia feels like a similar moment. It's his way of saying, "This is who I am, scars included, like it or not." Tyler, like Kendrick, has reached a point where he doesn't feel the need to live up to anyone else's expectations. Whether or not we see him as a creative mogul, it doesn't mean he's free of stress or struggles. He's just figured out how to make the best of a tough situation and follow through with what he felt was right for him, a lesson we can all relate to and take something from. With all this being said, I want to revisit the fact that there's no character for Chromakopia and the significance that has. Despite the spiked hair, uncanny mask, and green suit, make no mistake, this is Tyler. The whole album is narrated by Tyler's mother, who is distinctly talking to him about his life and finding his way. And Tyler complements this by offering truly honest and devastating truths about himself he's only ever lightly poked at before. When Tyler confronted his deadbeat dad on Answer as Wolf Haley in 2013, it was brash, angsty, and spiteful, which, while emotionally truthful, was an exaggerated perspective made for spectacle. When contrasted with the nuanced and mature cut like him off of Chromakopia, we see that Tyler's feelings about his father are much more complex and harrowing than any song can ever truly tell. Even at the end of the track, Tyler's mom comes and defends his dad, saying that he wanted to be there for him, but also wanted to live for himself. It's a pattern repeated in Hey Jane, where Tyler is honest about being scared of becoming a parent and more concerned about his free time, which would be unintentionally continuing the cycle of hurt in his family legacy. The way I see Chromakopia, and to a further extent Saint Chroma, is that he's more of a metaphor than a fully fleshed out character. The album's title itself derived from Chroma, the purity of light, and Kopia, which is Polish for toil or struggle, speaks to the challenge of preserving our inner light against outside pressures. Chromakopia raises a tough question about identity and choice. Who are we when we have to choose between staying true to ourselves or becoming someone else to meet others' expectations? Tyler's answer to this is messy and sometimes contradictory, but it shows his strong dedication to personal freedom, even when that choice costs him friendship, security, or peace. In the end, Tyler's story isn't a blueprint for success. It's a cautionary tale about what it really means to live for yourself. The freedom, fame, adoration, it's all there, but so are the missed memories, the lost friendships, and the parts of himself he left behind. And that's the irony of making selfish art. It can give you everything you think you want, while also quietly taking pieces of you along the way. So maybe the end goal isn't to be exactly like the people we look up to, but to understand the hardships that come along with living our dreams. There's a balance to find within everything, and if there's one thing you should take away from Chromakopia, it's to make sure you don't lose yourself on the journey of finding out who you are. Thanks for watching.
I hope you find yourself. I hope you find yourself.
Anyways, I'm gonna use the money I make from this video to buy me a damn ticket for his tour.
20,000 on me, 100,000 on me, 50,000 on me, couple thousand on me.